All right, Dr. Darren, we are talking about marijuana and teens in shops and the regulation around it all.
And the regulation around it all, access, one study, we all know from science and studies that the more available cannabis, marijuana is, the more likely for teens and adolescents to use it. The reason why that's so important is because substance use disorders most often start in your adolescent age and your young adulthood. So it's really important to pay attention to those risk factors. Now that we've seen it rising in states, Columbia University did a study to understand whether or not licensed or unlicensed pharmacies were actually checking for age verification. And as you can expect, less than 50% of the unlicensed retailers check for any type of age verification, which increases the risk of exposure to young adults who might not be aware of the long-term risk of cannabis.
And there's a danger, right, when you're talking about unlicensed places.
Yeah, there's a danger not just in you don't know what you're getting, but also the potency of marijuana. A lot of people will relate marijuana use today to the past, but it's very different. In the 1990s, the average percentage of THC, the active ingredient in cannabis, was around 4%. In 2019, the most recent study, that's increased to about 17%. That's the average. So half of products are above that. That increases risk of effects to your brain when it's developing, specifically the prefrontal cortex, which has to do with decision making. So it's so important for young adults to understand that it is very different from what it used to be, and there are some very real risks.
Real risks to them right now.
Exactly. Not just in terms of the risk of substance use disorder, but also your brain development. That can increase your risk of anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. So I think having open, honest conversations, hopefully from a peaceful standpoint, if you're a parent, is the best way to talk about these things. And when you talk to a lot of substance use disorder advisors, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So keep it going.